Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm seeing that there are a lot of note takers here, is why we have not yet started. So when a number of more people join in like 5-10 minutes, we are going to start.
Okay, thank you.
So good afternoon, everybody, once again. I think we've waited kind of enough. So as people join, they'll just um catch on over time. Good afternoon, everyone. It's really nice to have a number of you here today. And I see Ambassador Popoola Isiaka Olamilekan on the call too. It's really nice to have you too, sir. So today we want to have an introduction to cloud computing hosted by GDSC FUNAAB, which is now GDG on campus. Um, Today we are going to be listening to an expert giving us insight into cloud fundamentals. We're going to be participating in interactive Q&A sessions, and also it's going to be like a very interactive session. So we are going to be networking with people on the call here today. Yeah, so we have three major people on our call here today. Let me just start from the host before I move on to our keynote speaker here. Um, First off, this webinar was brought up by GDSC FUNAAB, and I want to mention that GDSC FUNAAB has moved to being GDG FUNAAB. Our host here, Emmanuel, which is our GDSC lead, is going to speak more on that moving forward. But yeah, we have moved to be GDG on campus in Abeokuta. Um, yes, we have our chief host, which is Yusuf Ahmad. He is the lead DevOps or cloud computing for GDSC FUNAAB. And we also have our host here, Emmanuel Olaosebikon, which is the lead for GDSC FUNAAB. Then moving on to our keynote speaker for today. So we have our keynote speaker for today, which is AMB Popoola Isiaka Olamilekan. And I'm going to be introducing him before he moves on to giving us his presentation for today. So AMB Popoola Isiaka Olamilekan has a master's degree in information production and management. He has more than 10 years of working experience in training and consulting services in areas related to geographical information systems, statistical data analysis, business intelligence, Microsoft data platforms, automation of business processes. Professionally, he's a Microsoft certified trainer. He has more than 9 Microsoft course certifications. He's also certified by International Computer Driving License as an international trainer, and then he serves as the head of data analytics services at Renewed Solutions. So he's currently consulting for Digital Bridge Institute in Abuja um, as a subject matter expert through the Adapti, now renamed as Adepti project, being sponsored by NCC. He also handles ICDL courses on digital skill literacy through the ICT Support Intervention Project. And then he has facilitated a number of technical training sessions for institutions and non-academic staff in several higher institutions of learning across Nigeria. So he's very passionate about learning, research, mentorship, and community development services, which is one of the reasons we have him here today. At the global scene, AMB Popoola is a data and cloud technology subject matter expert, SME, and consultant to numerous corporate organizations in USA, UK, Qatar, Canada, Sri Lanka, Australia, and a lot more. We are really excited to have you here today, and we look forward to your presentation. I don't know if Yusuf has anything to say before he carries on with his presentation.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, before I proceed, I would like to hear from the lead for GDSC, who is also on the call. So, Emmy, you have the floor, please.
Sorry, I was muted. Thank you. It's my pleasure to be with you guys.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. All right. So, while the GDSC lead is not currently available, so for the much of the introduction have been done as to what GDSC is and how we transform to being a Google Developer Group (GDG) on campus. So the track that is hosting this particular event, the DevOps/Cloud Computing track, this happens to be the launching program for the track, and as we have it here, we have our seasoned speaker that is here to do justice to the introduction to the cloud computing. So this will be a kind of enlightenment on what the the track holds and what we have to offer to not only the students alone, but the cloud and the technology enthusiasts, basically for the DevOps and cloud computing track. So stay back as you enjoy the wonderful presentation from our seasoned lecturer, Ambassador Popoola Isiaka Olamilekan. Thank you.
Okay, while we are waiting for Ambassador to be back, Yusuf Ahmad, I don't know if you have like a mini introduction to do while we wait for him to be back. Emmy, if you're back, please unmute. Emmy, I think you will have to text that just read. Please, if anybody has anything to say, just unmute, because I'm seeing like a number of hands up. If you have anything to say, just unmute yourself. But yes, Yusuf, I think you have like a mini introduction to do, so please go ahead.
Okay, Ambassador is back.
All right.
Sorry, it's Nigeria problem that we are all facing in every part of the country. Thank you so much. Have I missed anything?
No, sir. You can carry.
Okay. Is it time for me to speak?
Yes.
Okay, let me share my presentation. When I was developing my presentation, I was thinking whether to use PowerPoint or to use text. But in some cases, I prefer to use text in this case so that we should be able to digest more than PowerPoint. So just give me a moment. All right. Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Not yet, sir. Okay, it is up now.
Okay. All right. Being a text of a keynote address delivered by Ambassador Popoola Isiaka Olamilekan, as a data and cloud technology specialist at an interactive session organized by Google Developers Students Club, GDSC of the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, virtually held today, Saturday, the October 19th, 2024. Preamble. It is a great honor for me to be here today as your keynote speaker for this webinar organized by the Google Developer Students Club, GDSC, of the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the organizers of this event for this opportunity offered to be your guest speaker, where I will be sharing my insights on a topic that is truly transforming our world, which is cloud computing. We live in a time where technology is the backbone of every industry, and at the heart of this digital revolution is the cloud. The new cloud, in quotes, has arrived, and it is reshaping the way we store data, run applications, and even interact with one another. Today, I'm excited to take you on a journey into this new era and discuss how cloud computing is defining the future. 2.0, what is cloud computing? Let us start with the basic by saying, what do we mean by cloud computing? Simply put, cloud computing refers to the delivery of computing services such as storage, processing power, and networking over the internet. Rather than owning and maintaining expensive hardware and software, you can access these resources on demand, paying only for what you use. This concept has redefined how businesses operate and how individuals like you and me use technology. The idea of remote computing is not new, but the evolution of cloud technology has enabled the massive scale and flexibility we see today. Cloud pioneers like Amazon Web Service, AWS, Google Cloud, that we know as GCP, and Microsoft Azure led the way in making this technology accessible to businesses, developers, and students worldwide. As at the second quarter of year 2024, these big three, we mean Microsoft Azure, Microsoft AWS, Amazon, and Google. These big three giant companies have captured 67% of the cloud infrastructure and services in the global markets, with AWS taking 32% of market share. Microsoft has taken 23% of the market share, and Google has taken 12%. According to the report of the first quarter, Google was on 10%, but in the second quarter, Google has taken more space in terms of global share in cloud computing. 3.0, types of cloud computing services. Cloud computing is not one size fits all. It comes in different forms, each serving unique needs. Examples of cloud computing include infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So what do we mean by infrastructure as a service? This is where companies rent information technology infrastructure, such as servers, virtual machines, and storage from a cloud provider. This eliminates the need to manage physical data centers, which can be costly and complex. What do you mean by platform as a service? It involves developers use platform as this involve developers using platform as a service to build, test, and deploy applications without worrying about the underlying infrastructure. Imagine focus entirely on writing code while the cloud handles everything else. Software as a service. This is where applications are delivered over the web, allowing users to access software like Google Workspace or Microsoft 365 through a browser. No installation is needed, just instant access. Cloud development, deployment model. How do these services get delivered? Well, there are several deployment models to consider. We have what we call public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, and of course, multi-cloud. In recent time, we have what we call multi-cloud. What do we mean by public cloud? These are services offered over the public internet and available to anyone who wants to use them. This is the most common type of cloud computing provided by giants like AWS and Google Cloud. Private cloud. In this model, services are maintained on a private network and used exclusively by one organization. It provides greater control and security, which some businesses prefer. Hybrid cloud. This combines both public and private clouds, allowing data and applications to be shared between them. It offers flexibility and optimization. Ideally, it is ideal for businesses with dynamic needs. Multi-cloud. Many organizations use multiple cloud providers to enhance performance and avoid vendor lock-in, optimizing their capabilities by mixing and matching services. There is a word here, lock-in. What do you mean by lock-in? Lock-in it means that you are stuck to a particular service provider, right? Key benefits of cloud computing. Why is everyone so excited about the cloud? Let me give you an illustration before I take this part of the presentation. If you follow very well, before the advent of COVID, people have been using cloud services. But when COVID came and the world was in, its organized environment, the work environment was affected, almost everywhere was affected, and the world needed to deliver services, whether on full-time or on part-time. That was the turning point in the new era. The new era we are referring to in the cloud is the point after COVID has happened. The new era of cloud is what has happened after the COVID-19, because that was the point where the world resolved to the usage of cloud services or cloud technologies. Before that time, there was a very little known about practicality of remote work, but as we speak today, the world has moved to remote work. Even there was an organization I consulted for 2 weeks ago in Lagos. The staff only come to office twice in a week, which means for the 3 days of the week, so they sit at home and deliver services as the case may be. This is what cloud computing has brought to us in this new era of the cloud. Now, what are the key benefits of cloud computing? One, it has an advantage in terms of cost efficiency. It has an advantage in terms of scalability. It has an advantage in terms of flexibility and mobility. It has advantage in terms of disaster recovery and backup. And it has advantage in terms of collaboration. These are some of the key benefits of why people are moving into the cloud, where people are using cloud services. How does benefit affect us in terms of cost efficiency? At the present time, no need for costly upfront investments in hardware. In cloud computing, that's what we call CapEx. That if you want to start up building cloud infrastructure, that you have what we call CapEx. And in the CapEx, you have some capital expenditures that you have to invest in. You can't say you want to build a server. You can't say you want to build a server on data center without investing into infrastructure. Maybe getting a space, maybe getting some equipment, maybe getting some materials or equipment that can power those equipments that you have on ground. At a point, you will need security. At a point, you will need staff to manage your infrastructure, physical infrastructure for that matter, to run your on-premises facilities. But in terms of cloud computing, all those investments are gone. With cloud, you only pay for resources you use, because it is pay as you go. Anything you have not used, then you will not pay. Then in terms of scalability, it needs more resources. If you need more resources during peak time, this is fine, because scalability has to do with what? On demand. Imagine you are into maybe tourism. Maybe you are into tourism business, and for tourism business, their peak time is during the festive period. Their peak time for sales, for transactions, is during the festive period. Maybe New Year period, maybe December period, maybe salary period, maybe during national holidays. Now, there could be a case that demand for their services will be on the rise, whereby their their facilities, if not made available to receive such SURGE, such that when demand is on the increase, then that is when you will see the server is down because the workload is more than what it was designed for. But in case of cloud computing, it has capability to increase the services when the demand is on the rise, on the rise, and it also has a possibility to reduce your computing power when there is no need for it. You don't need to pay. In this case, it can help you to save cost. Flexibility and mobility, work from anywhere, anytime, and any device. This has become crucial in our increasingly remote and distributed world. Recently, I consulted for an organization in US, and part of our agreement was that Popoola, on this contract, I will be using my devices, but I will need to connect to their remote server to work, which is a cloud-based environment. We'll call it, there's a time we call it in Microsoft. It's like when you have your laptop in the cloud, right? So that is to the extent that apart from having applications, even our virtual, we call it virtual desktop, our laptops have also been moved into the cloud. All right, so disaster recovery and backup. Any one of these guys that we have mentioned, they have different data centers, and for each data center, they have different backups. Like for Microsoft Adama, we are very well, it has 3 backups at any point in time. That if your server is at this location, if there's any challenge, you can be immediately be referred to your backup, so that the service level, that's what we call service level agreement, SLA, is that the uptime is 99.99% available. That's SLA agreement, that we can assure you with cloud service, you can be uptime for 99.99%, which means that your downtime, the maximum period of your time is 0.01, which is not assurable in terms of what on-premises infrastructure. So we have collaboration. Yes, nowadays we do collaboration. Like this case, imagine if you want me to imagine in those days where cloud computing have not been fully operational. This type of presentation will require me to be physically present at maybe your institution, which will have been a very hectic journey for me. I've been on a training lecturers at the University of Elisha, formerly known as College of Education Elisha. From Monday, I just arrived back at my location just this morning. Imagine if I have to make this presentation, that I have to rush out of my location down to your institution. That could be very, very challenging. That could be very, very challenging. So all these are some of the benefits that we are seeing in the world of cloud computing. Just a moment. All right. Am I visible? I think I'm visible. Right? Hello, everyone.
Yes, you are visible.
Okay, thank you. So, in terms of real-world applications of cloud computing, we have cloud computing is not just a tech buzzword, it is shaping industries, the likes of business operations, the likes of education, the likes of artificial intelligence and machine learning, the likes of healthcare, and the likes of startup. From the training that I just finished, there were some ordinarily what I could have shared with them in terms of physical printout, but I engaged them all through in the cloud. For them to submit assignments, they were submitting assignments in the cloud. For them to get materials for instructions, I was giving them in the cloud. There was never a time we shared printout of any materials. So that is how the world is today. In terms of business operations, companies are moving their entire infrastructures to the cloud. There are a lot of digital assets that are being moved into the cloud as we speak, allowing for more agile and efficient operations. In terms of education, tools like Google Room, which I use very often, and Teams, Microsoft Teams, are revolutionizing how educators teach and how students learn, providing access to educational resources from anywhere. In terms of artificial intelligence and machine learning, cloud platforms like Google Cloud are powering AI solutions and were once limited to high-budget research labs. In terms of healthcare, cloud technology is helping healthcare providers manage vast amount of patients' data, improving telemedicine, and providing better care. In terms of startup leverage the cloud to reduce costs, scale faster, and innovate rapidly, breaking down barriers and that once made launching a company difficult. If you have had, or you may be hearing what we call tech startups, when new organizations in tech are coming up, they face a lot of challenges. They can face a lot of challenges in terms of workspace. They can face a lot of challenges in terms of digital assets that they need to equip their offices. But with the startup innovations around startup, companies are now leveraging on infrastructures being made available, maybe in workstations, and some of the interventions that governments are providing to ease the business at different parts of the country. All right. Let us look at trends shaping the new cloud era. As we look ahead, several trends are shaping this new cloud era. Please remember, I've defined new cloud era, as a period immediately after COVID-19. What are the trends that we are seeing that are shaping the new cloud era? These include edge computing, serverless architecture, cloud security, artificial intelligence and cloud integration, and so also sustainability. In terms of edge computing, instead of sending all data to the cloud, edge computing processes it closer to the source, improving speed and accuracy. Now, the idea was that I'm a data professional. When you capture data, the tradition is that you send it to a storage platform, maybe for further processing or for further usage or for storage for some time. And anytime you need analysis, you run back to your data management platform, a storage platform, where you can achieve some operations and give out outputs. But the world is now at the side of edge computing that may not require you that you may do all those storage, that may not require you that you may do all those kinds of what we need to do before we get access to an operation and get results. So edge computing is redefining a new cloud era where organizations are putting their money to see that in terms of speed and efficiency, that the world is moving faster than before. All right, so we also have serverless architecture. With serverless computing, developers can run code without managing servers, allowing them to focus purely on writing the logic for their applications. For instance, gone are those days if you need to run applications, you have to install server on your system, right? You have to install server on your system. But today, serverless architectures are giving us privilege that, look, you don't need to install server on your system before before you work. For instance, now in the SQL Server environment, if you need to run any database on SQL Server, if it is on premises, you have to install the back end, which is the server, and you have to install the front end, which is the studio, for you to do manipulations and get results. But all those things are gone, or not really totally gone, but dependency on them are on the decrease. In terms of cloud security, as more critical operations move to the cloud, securing this data has become a top priority, leading to innovations in encryption, multi-factor authentication, and compliance. Be as it is that I am a data specialist for more than 10 years. Along the line, because of the trend in the new cloud era, I've seen myself also taking courses on cloud security. Because it is not enough for me as a data professional, and I'm not good in securing the digital assets that I'm helping my clients to put in the cloud. So because of the challenges that the back X in the society, the hackers, the black hackers, because of what they do, organizations are stepping up their thinking cap so that we can have innovations in areas of encryption, in areas of multi-factor authentication, and in terms of compliance. Compliance can be in two ways. Of course, this is not a class. I will have gone deeper in explaining some of these concepts. But I believe in the course of this training, we'll be having more detailed discussions as regards some different aspects of new cloud era. In terms of AI and cloud integration, the integration of cloud computing with artificial intelligence is enabling cutting-edge innovations in industries like finance, like healthcare, and manufacturing. In Nigeria today, the sector that has pushed so much money into the new era of cloud is the finance sector. That's why you have fintech almost everywhere, startups of fintechs almost everywhere that are coming on board, in making our ways of financial transactions easier than before. For instance, now in the olden days, if somebody needs to borrow money, you need to go to physical bank, submit some declarations, just to showcase that you pay back. But today, people are borrowing money without even submitting anything online. These are some of the interventions that cloud integration has brought to the fore in terms of how the world is looking like. Yeah, for sustainability, cloud providers are making strides in reducing their carbon footprint by investing in renewable energy sources and improving energy efficiency. All right, let us look at opportunities for students and developers, because these are major. I have taken time to analyze different strata of cloud computing or cloud services. Now we want to narrow it to me as a student, you as a student, you as developer, Google developer. What are the take home that you can have in order to build your capacity and also tap into the new era of cloud? For the students and aspiring developers in the audience, the future is incredibly bright. Cloud computing offers endless opportunities. For the, in order to save time and space, I just listed some of those endless opportunities, which include learning cloud technologies. I encourage you to explore cloud platforms such as Google Cloud, AWS, and Azure. Many of these platforms offer free tiers and certification programs to help you get started. The world is in the cloud. The future is in the cloud. It is now left for every one of us to maximize this advantage. Open source contributions. The cloud community thrives on collaboration. Look for opportunities to contribute to open source, look for opportunities to contribute to open source cloud natives projects. There are organizations around the world that you can search for and see what they are doing in terms of projects, and also key in into those projects. For instance, now we have different hackathons that are ongoing globally. If you have selected a kind of technology for yourself, that this is the path you want to follow and build your capacity, take part in different projects. That is where you can enhance your capacity and also enhance your service delivery to your potential clients. In terms of career paths, the demand for cloud professionals is skyrocketing. Roles like cloud engineer, cloud architects, and DevOps specialists are in high demand, offering competitive salaries and career growth. At this point, let me inform you, if it is not necessary for you to go and do all these jobs in abroad. Yes, I have people working in Nigeria as cloud experts, and they are collecting USD in Nigeria. I know quite a number of guys that are making it in Nigeria. And if you need to jackpot, because that's the language. Even if you need to jackpot, go to any country of your instead with technology savvy. Nobody is looking for ways of doing things in the olden days. People are looking for, this is a digital era, this is cloud era. People are looking for people that are technology savvy, who can solve problems using technology, as the case may be. So in choosing your career, choose wisely and make sure that any career you have chosen, you are adding value to yourself and you are adding value to your potential clients or the organization that you'll be working with, which are your employers. Number 9, challenges in cloud computing. Yes, being good as it may in terms of cloud computing and benefits it offers, it also has its own challenges. However, like any technology, cloud computing comes with challenges in terms of security concerns, cost management, and vendor locking. In terms of security concern, I had a friend with, I had a discussion with a friend recently who is a staff of University of Ibadan IT department, and he was telling me, Popoola, do you know, the more we are moving into technology, the more there is no secrecy into society, right? Popoola, do you know, the way the world is going into technology, making use of technology, is the way privacy is being of greatest concern, which is about security. And a practical example is the case of Bobrisky, who was confining confidential discussion with some people that he or she believe could have protected him or her, but at the end of the day, because of the danger in cloud computing, which is of security concern, all their discussions are to the public gallery. All right. So now, in terms of cost management, yes, while the cloud can reduce cost, inefficient use can lead to unexpected bills, making cost management strategically crucial. Now, I have a practical example. I have a friend who works with an IT firm. They did subscription for cloud service usage. Instead of shutting down their subscription, because it is a pay as you go, but the guy forgot to shut down their subscription after they have finished job on a Friday. So the subscription was on, the subscription was on during the weekend. It was like a $10,000 subscription they did, and before they came back on Monday, wow, the subscription has depleted to almost 2,000, 3,000. So they asked the guy, come, how come 10,000 subscription USD, 10,000 USD subscription we did, that we are sure we'll finish the job before we left office, and we knew we could have be having like 8,000 US dollars because because their service, their pay as you go was around 1,000 plus, maybe almost 2,000 US dollar. That's what has happened. That the entire subscription was nearing the end. So the guy couldn't factor in what happened, that how the subscription has finished like that. So, but when they went into the back end and checked some timestamp of operations that were, ongoing during the weekend, they discovered that when they're supposed to have stopped the subscription after the end of the work, it was left open, and the billing was piling until the challenges of finishing up the subscription came on board, and the guy was sacked. Unfortunately, the guy was sacked. That instead of saving costs for the organization, he was unable to manage costs strategically. So those are some of the challenges that we can face in cloud computing. We also have what we call vendor lock-in. Being overly dependent on a single provider can limit your flexibility in the long run. Now, I just did mention that 3 organizations, tech giants, they are the dominant within the tech space. It's either you make use of Azure, that is being made available by Microsoft, or you are using AWS, which is being made available by Amazon, or you are using GCP, Google Cloud Google Cloud Platform, which is being made available by Google. So along the line, you will see that as you are going more deeper into any one of them, you'll be getting more stocked, because you want to see what is the recent development, and that cannot give us, when you are stocked in terms of locked in, you may not be able to see flexibility in some other operations. And that is why some of my colleagues have taken up the challenge of being multi-cloud specialists. That's instead of being stuck to one technology. Yes, I'm from Microsoft perspective. Yes, I can also see what happens in Google. I can also see what happens in Amazon, because being stuck is not of valuable to professionals, and it may not be of value addition to organizations too. In conclusion, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a call to action, and that call is: do not just be consumers of technology. Be creators, innovators, and leaders in this new cloud era. The cloud is not just for businesses, it is for you. The opportunities are fast, the resources are available. There are tons of millions, if not billions, of videos on YouTube. I was to deliver a course recently, and it was a course that was entirely strange to me. So, and I was assigned that course. The best I could have done was to go to YouTube, and I was amazed with volume of resources that helped me to get prepared for delivery of that course. So if it can happen to me, why not you? Why not somebody else? The future is yours. The future is yours to shape. I encourage each one of you to take advantage of the wealth of resources and certifications available, especially those offered by platforms like Google Cloud. The skills you develop today will not only make you competitive in the job market, but also position you as a leader in the ever-evolving landscape. I want to thank you all once again, the Google Developer Students Club, for this wonderful opportunity, and thank you all for your attention. I'm really excited to see what the future holds for all of us in this new cloud era. And thank you. God bless.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation.
It's my pleasure.
Yes. Now I'm even motivated myself to start my cloud journey.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. I pasted something on the chat about like we posting our favorite part of the session on any social media of our choice and tagging GDSC FUNAAB. So any part that like you love the most, you can just post it around and tag us. We would make a shout out to our favorite post at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, I'm going to drop a form very soon just to capture like our details. Like every single person here today is supposed to fill it so that we can give you a certificate of attendance later on. Yusuf, I don't know if you have anything to say. Thank you so much, sir, once again.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ambassador, and thank you.
Thank you.
So, as it is, the lecture being well delivered. We are, I mean, the audience are curious. I know myself. I have a question, and I'm very sure that so as other people on the call here today will have one or two questions as to the contents of the well-furnished presentation that has just been done. So for now, the call will be open for members on the call with questions. So you can just signify by raising the hand on the call. Then the moderator go ahead and pick up sequentially so that our guest speaker can do justice to all the available questions. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. I hope this session is being recorded.
Yes, it is, sir.
Okay. Thank you. It's my pleasure. Yes, I'm available for any questions.
Yeah, you can signify by raising up your hand, please. Okay, I'm seeing one. Okay, Mr. Mustafa Adeta, okay, good. Then Ibrahim Oloyede, we have two. We have two. Okay, let's start from Mr. Mustafa Adeta. You have the floor, sir.
All right, thank you very much, and good afternoon, Ambassador Popoola. It's nice seeing your face again and then hearing from you.
Thank you.
I'm
It's my
happy
pleasure.
I'm in this session, and it has been mind-blowing and then eyes-opening so much. Now, I know some of us here might be interested in picking some of the areas in cloud computing, and then I wouldn't know if you can point some of some beginner courses to people who might be interested. You know, in this age, there are several courses online that you might even spend hours watching and studying, and you realize it's even a bunch of nothing at the end of the day. So, based on your vast experience in this area, it will be interesting if you could point maybe one or two that could be a very good kickstart for someone to pick a journey in the cloud computing. That's my question. Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother, Mr. Dayton Mustafa. It's my pleasure to hear your beautiful voice again after a long period of time. For what you have asked, the reality is that when somebody wants to start a journey, we are always being skeptical about how to go about it, where to start from. You know, we are skeptical about what if we are stuck along the journey, or what are the available materials that will help us on the journey. So these are serious concerns that somebody starting a journey will be facing. I belong to a lot of tech community services, tech community development services, where we offer free services to individuals who are beginners. And what we do at that platform is, if you are newbie into the tech space, we guide you through mentoring process about where you can start from, what you can do, and how you can take up from that journey. Now, but in that mentoring process, what is more strategic that we have taken attention of is about the passion of the mentee or somebody who want to come into the tech space. It's about the passion. My major is data and cloud computing. Some other people, their major is just DevOps. Some other people, their major is just cloud security. Some other people, their interest are in some areas, right? So there must be something that will drive your passion. I don't give advice to individual, go and study this or go and do this. I interview them, I ask them, what is your passion? Because if you are very good in coding, software development can be a very better alternative for you to as a part. But if you are not, for me, I knew I was very versatile in issues relating to mathematics, because mathematics happened to be my best subject, both in secondary schools and both in my undergraduate studies and postgraduate studies. So I knew that taking statistics and data out of that statistics would have been a very good journey for me. So this as it may, the best approach is that for somebody coming into tech, to be aware of his or her areas of strength and be able to complement on that area. Not necessarily allowing somebody to pick for you, or somebody advising you it must be this because some people are making money out of it, or this and that. I will advise that the person coming into tech space should be very sure of where his or her strength is located, and also take it up from there. Now, that's first part from the journey. The second part of the journey is that we have different giants, like the three major giants that we have in the tech space, the likes of Google, the likes of Microsoft, and the likes of Amazon. Now, after taking the course of interest, you should also take which of these tech space do you want to specialize, right? For me, I major on Microsoft products. I major on Microsoft products. But with the trend of the new era, that's major for you, somebody to major in a particular tech space or technology is not enough because of the versatility that the world is facing. I'm also considering possibility of maybe adding Google to my Microsoft tech know-how, or adding AWS to what I know in the Microsoft space. So for a beginner, you need to check out for your niche, and also check out for which of the platform that will be suitable for you. Of course, you may not know that, okay, which platform will now be suitable for me. Me, I don't know. If you have a mentor can introduce a platform to you from perspective of what he or she knows. And from there, you can now start to be growing from there that, oh, I've seen that Microsoft can do this. Oh, I want to see how Google can also do this, or I want to see how AWS, which is Amazon, can also do this, or the lesser technology service providers, the likes of Ali Cloud, the likes of IBM Cloud, and some other cloud service providers. So that is the best approach that I do encourage people to look into, and not being carried away that my friend is doing this, I want to do it, or I have a brother I'm looking up to, on a sister I'm looking up to. This is what he or she is doing, and I want to take from what the person is doing. So that's the best advice that I used to offer to people. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ambassador Popoola.
Thank you.
All right. So I think we have another question. Another person raised up in the other time.
Okay.
Ologide Ibrahim. You have the floor, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. I must say this session is a great session and inspiring. I've really learned some new things, new technologies. So I have a question actually that's been bothering my mind about cloud
Okay.
computing. So
All right.
firstly, what's the major difference between infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service? And when can an organization choose between the three attributes that you mentioned? And secondly, in terms of security, um, how can one be rest assured that all your web services that are being deployed to the cloud are being protected? I mean, that are they are very very secured online to the point that an unknown hacker or un, um you know experts can't get access to your to your project or your service that you have on the cloud. So I would love you to explain more on that, sir.
Okay. So you asked of two questions. One, the difference between cloud computing services in terms of infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Now, the idea is that when we are talking about cloud computing services, they are broadly divided into three. One, in terms of infrastructure, infrastructure means your physical assets, infrastructure, your physical assets. For instance, now if you want to set up a computer center, right, you will need to have a space. You have to have a space, maybe an office space, and you will need to have computers, sets of computers. Maybe some of your service can be printing. You will need to get printers. Some of your services can be maybe server, that you will need to get server and all those details. Now, the idea is that all those infrastructure are capital intensive. They are very capital intensive. They are very, very capital intensive. With it, I just read in the news today that within a week, the national grid, our electricity grid, has shut down 3 times within a week, which means even if you have physical infrastructure, you will still need generator or solar power energy source, or maybe another source of energy to power your system. That is an infrastructure. So the idea now of the cloud is that instead of there's what we call capex, capital expenditure. Instead of you going to bank to borrow money to get all those physical assets in terms of infrastructure, now a company or cloud service provider, they have gone ahead to make all those infrastructure available for you. What you just need is that if you need a service, you just go to them, you make use of what they have, and you pay, and you move on your own. That is about infrastructure as a service. That is, instead of you to provide those details in terms of servers, in terms of virtual machines, in terms of storage, somebody is doing it for you. You just need to pay as you go and make use of those services to deliver your solution. That is about infrastructure as a service. Now, in terms of platform as a service, now, if you are a developer, you are developing solutions, right? There are 3 types of environments that a developer works. There are 3 types of environment. There's what we called testing, development environment, test environment, development environment, test environment, and production environment. It is in the development environment that you build solutions. Oh, there's a challenge somewhere. Maybe you have a business case on what the challenge is all about. Then you now look at, okay, what are the things we can do to provide solution to this challenge, right? Then you make that available. Then after that, you push it to test environment. In the test environment, what do we do? In the test environment, what we do is that solution you have built, you want to make sure that there is no bug There's no error, there's no bug, there's no challenges before the final deployment. That is, there are some people, there are some professionals in the world today that they do remote services. We call them software testers. Software testers. What they do is that they look out for maybe challenges in an application before it is being released to the market for the use of the general public. So now it is at that level that issues that relates to observations of errors or challenges are being handled. And at the tail end, we now have what we call production environment. In the production environment, that is where our solution is finally available and they are now being deployed to the cloud for usage by intending beneficiaries of that. So all those stages, development environment, testing environment, and production environment, they were being managed individually or differently in the on-premises environment in terms of physical infrastructure. Now, with the advent of cloud computing service, platform has given us an advantage. Platform as a service has given us an advantage that instead of burdening yourself with all these environment that, okay, after here you are going here, after here you are going here, we can integrate all those environments for you to work with and move ahead. For instance, now, if I need to do, as a data professional, if I need to do work on a database, I will need to install a SQL server on my system. Then I will need to install the studio on my system for me to run my operations. But Microsoft is telling me, Popoola, don't disturb yourself. You can come to the cloud. You don't need to install those operating softwares. The software application, you don't need to install them. That they are available in the cloud. And the advantage of platform as a service, let me tell you, is that whenever there is a new development, you don't need to be told. It is up without any information. For instance, now, you can just see that, the interface of Gmail, the way you see it today, is not the same as the interface that we see tomorrow. There are some things that have been changed. That is what advantage of platform as a service is. For me now, if I install my SQL Server on my laptop and there is a new version, it means that the old one, I will remove it and install the latest version. Or I will leave the old one and install the new version. But in terms of platform as a service, you don't even install. So if there's a new version, there's no need for you to remove the old one and now install the new one. Are you understanding it? So that's an advantage of platform as a service, that you don't need to do installation of all those things. They are readily available in the cloud. And if there is any updates to their software, instead of upgrading from lower version to higher version, then you are good for it. That everything will be done for you automatically. That's about platform as a service. Now, for software as a service is a case study that you need some applications, you need some services online, right? And for you to make use of those services, ordinarily, those services are from applications. It is applications that are running it. For instance, now, there's what we call Outlook. Right? In the Outlook, it is the exchange server, mail exchange server, that is running on it. When you say Outlook for managing your email, right? It is the mail exchange server that are running behind it. Now, the idea is that instead of you to log in into that application, maybe you need to buy application. For instance, now, if Microsoft is telling us, if Google is telling us that before we can use Gmail, we have to buy the Gmail application and install it on our system. It will be very challenging, right? But now Google is now saying, don't worry, that server, the exchange server that is powering our email, is in the cloud. Now, what you just need is that just log in to your platform and you get solution done. Likewise, in the case of Microsoft 365, what we are used to is that we are used to Office suites, Microsoft Office suites, like a Microsoft 13, Microsoft 19, Microsoft 21, Microsoft 16, all those ones. Immediately there's a new one. Immediately there's a new one in the market. You will go and remove the old one and insert the new one. So meaning that you'll be spending more money. Whenever there's a new development in the technology, you'll be spending more money. But in this case, you are not spending more money because once you do your subscription, like a case of Google Workspace or a case of Google Gmail or in case of maybe Microsoft 365, so those services are available and they are software application based. What you just need is that just log in and you have access to those services instantly. So that is about differences between cloud computing services that we have. Can I remember the second question? Can you remind me of the second question? Can anybody, moderator, can anybody remind me of the second question?
Yeah, in terms of security.
Yeah. Okay. What was the question on security? How can you secure your assets, right?
Yeah. How can one be rest assured that it's secured?
Yes. I think it was part of my discussion. Let me take you down there, where I discussed about multi-factor MFA, multi-factor authentication, where I talk about encryption system. Let me quickly take you down there. I think it's on the next page. I can't remember exactly where it is. Let me just discuss it. Now, the idea about security, hackers are everywhere now. You will hear, I can't remember the number of times recently that people have sent text to me that on WhatsApp that they need my help, that they want to send money to somebody so that tomorrow I should help them to send that money so that tomorrow they will send that money back to me. Even at national level, 2 ministers were affected. 2 ministers. I know of Minister of Power. Recently, Minister of Power, his WhatsApp number was hijacked. So what I was saying the other time is here, under 7C, cloud security. Now, the idea now is that for you to protect your, we call it digital asset, you must be in tune with cloud security. And that is why it is not enough for me as a data professional to stop at that level, but rather I challenge myself to also move into cloud security, because all those data assets, if you don't know how to secure them, it will be as good as done nothing for your client or your employer. And that's why we talk about different encryption system. For instance, now in data space, we have 3 types of encryption system for managing data. We have what we call data at rest, we have what we call data in motion, and we have what we call data in use. There are different encryption systems for each one of them. If your data is at rest, data at rest means a data set that you have that you are not working on at that moment. There's a different type of encryption system for it. Then we have another type, data in what? Data in use, right? Data in use. The type of data that you are using at the moment, you need another encryption system to work with it, right? So we have data in use. The third one, I forgot the third one that I just mentioned. Data at rest, data in use, and data in transit. Data in transit. You are just copying data from one to another place. It may not mean that you are using it at that moment. Maybe you are copying data from one place to another. Somebody can hijack the process from you if you are not versatile on how we do that. So, like the WhatsApp that I mentioned, like your banking system, multi-factor MFA, multi-factor authentication are now coming up, making use of 3 aspects of technology. One, if you want to do MFA, it can require you to use your biometrics. We want to active. MFA is what? Is multi-level authentication. Multi-level authentication. There are some organizations, if you log in, if you submit your username and password, it will require you to supply the second level authentication. That's what we call multi-factor authentication. We want to see that, okay, we want to assume maybe the email, the official email address you have provided, the password you have provided to log into organization platform. We want to suspect that, okay, maybe somebody has seen it, or maybe you are not the one. Somebody is now making a jest that you are the one, but we want to be sure that it is you. We now make use of those things that are particular to you, that nobody else share them with you, to make MFA. Anytime you are talking about MFA, they are referring to something that are personal to you. For instance, now they can say, okay, in the MFA authentication, provide your biometrics. I want to be sure you are the one. Nobody can share biometrics with you. So far, you have provided your username and password, and you have provided your biometrics, maybe your fingertip, finger thumb. Nobody can share that with you. We are sure that, okay, you have passed through all the security check, that you are the one that you have claimed that you are. Or in the multi-factor authentication, they can ask for maybe your phone number, or they can ask for maybe your personal email address. That's a code, maybe a 6-digit code. In banking system, they use token, hardware token. That, okay, after you supply your username, your password, we also ask you to supply your token, because token has been personalized to you. When you go to bank that you want to do online transactions, they ask you to get token. That token is your personal signature. If you are careless with it, somebody knows your password, somebody knows your login details, and somebody is also having access to your token. So if any transaction is done, then you are the one that has released almost everything about you to that person, right? So those are the security measures that are being taken care of. Another thing about cloud security is about compliance. Compliance can be in two ways. There can be compliance from the government regulations. There can be some compliance from government regulations, and there can be some compliance from the organization. That, okay, for instance, now I told you about a company that I consulted for recently. Maybe as a case study, maybe I'm in Nigeria. The new Popoola is working with us in US, but is in Nigeria, right? Anytime I log into their platform, the IP of Nigeria is the one that is being expected. The IP address of Nigeria is being expected. Imagine during the time of login, the IP of maybe Saudi Arabia is now appearing on the name of Popoola. The security check will have been that, does it mean somebody is logging in on behalf of Popoola from South Africa? I mean, from Saudi Arabia. Or maybe I've gone for a lesser Hajj. Maybe I've gone for Umrah, or maybe I've gone for Hajj, and I was still doing my job. But I must notify organization that, oh, though you know me to be based in Nigeria according to my IP, but I'm transitioning to another country, maybe for tourism, maybe for some assignment, or for some professional engagements. So now it means that, and that is why if you are traveling out of Nigeria, banking regulation requires you that if you want to use your MasterCard, you want to use your VAV card, any card that you want to use outside of the shore of Nigeria, you must notify your bank. And if you try it, there was a day I was in Dubai. I wanted to, withdraw from my ATM. Right? I was denied, because during the course of withdrawing, they got to know that, okay, my bank got to know that somebody is accessing Popoola's account from UAE, United Arab Emirates. So the next question is, as Popoola told us that he was traveling out of the country, that he has given a mandate that, okay, he'll be out of the country, he was going to this country, so that any transaction that is done in this country will be aware it's Popoola that is doing it and not somebody else. So those are the kind of security measures that organizations are putting in place in terms of encryption system, in terms of multi-factor authentication, and in terms of compliance. That I cannot I cannot do transaction with any bank without following their compliance regulations and rules. That's Popoola. If you are going outside of Nigeria, you want to make use of your MasterCard that is global, then you have to tell us so that we can profile you that Popoola is outside of the country. So those are the things that the world is talking about. So if you are not working on digital assets, the one you are working on WhatsApp, you are working on your Gmail, you are working on some other applications, please provide login details that are difficult for anybody to guess. Yes, that's the kind of encryption system. Provide login details that are difficult for any individuals to guess. Some people, they use their birth dates for their login. It's not fine because somebody can guess, and if they guess, then you are the one that are not using something that is strong enough for you to protect your digital assets. So I think that is more clearer from that perspective of illustration. Thank you. Do we have more questions? Moderator?
I think someone just dropped another question on the chat.
On the chat, okay. I've not been checking
yes.
chats. Please, if there is anyone, let me know.
Okay, there's just one here. Someone says, I would like to know what cloud computing holds for the future.
Okay. So what cloud computing holds for the future is that, let us take it from before we get to the new era, because we are talking about new era. Now, before we are in the new era, it was the Zoom. It was the Zoom application, ZOOM, that the world was aware of for what? For online collaboration, online meetings. It was Zoom that we used to use that time. But today, is it only Zoom? No. We now have what we call Google Meet that we are using at the moment. We now have what we call Microsoft Teams. Now, the idea is that the world is transitioning into the digital space, which means so many things will be unfailing in the digital space. So it is now left for you to remain where you are or follow up with the trend of technology, with the trend of events. So some people are saying, okay, technology will take their job. Technology will not take anybody's job. Yes, technology will only enhance your job and make you be faster. Right? Just 2 days ago, I got a call from WAEC that Popoola, they wanted some intervention from me, that they were looking at some artificial intelligence on how WAEC can manage, their as a national examination body on how they can use artificial intelligence to manage their operations, especially in areas of test and measurement, psychometric analysis, right? So the idea now is that even if you have been doing it that way before, now that AI has come, the organization now is now looking at, okay, how can we also go along with the trend of AI in making our work better and in making our work faster and more productive. So AI is not taking anybody's job. So we are the one that we need to step up as technology is advancing. I just told you about edge computing. Edge computing in the digital space, or in the data space of digital technology. Before you do analysis, you have to have your what we call your storage platform. Like the case of Azure now, we have what we call Azure SQL, and we have Azure Storage Account. right? So, but with the event of edge computing, the limitations around you need to get this before this is done, you need to achieve this before this is done, they are being reduced. So people are working at a very high speed. Okay, let me give you an illustration. Do you know why Iran, was it Iraq? Iraq. Do you know why Iraq was able to attack Israel? Iron, is it iron? What's the name of that? Their protective device. Do you know? It was the speed. So the technology that Israeli believe in that has shielded their aerospace, Iraq was able to penetrate it with almost 200 missiles at a go, right? Because they have worked on speed. So if Israel was on, okay, with this one we are protected, somebody has gone ahead to work on, okay, what is the speed this one can, can see that a missile is coming into their aerospace. Okay, let us move. Okay, with what they have, the speed is maybe maybe 200 per seconds or 200 meter per seconds. But Iraq missile that they tested recently is more than 6 times faster than the speed of light. It's technology, it's an advancement, it's innovation. It's more than 6 times faster than the speed of light. So those are the areas where people need to open up their mind and also see that, okay, in this new era that we are, how can we take advantage of that? So if you are thinking, what is the future for cloud computing? The future will always be there. A practical example is what I just told you. When Israel was building their dome, is it Iron Dome? Yes, they call it Iron Dome. They use a technology that the world has passed at the moment. So that is the future. So if they anticipated that a time will come in the future, there's something that a country will be able to produce a missile that's 6 times faster than speed of light, they would have imagined that, okay, what they were having was not in tune with the present time. So that is the future. Things will be changing, innovations will be coming up, and there'll be demand for cloud services. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I hope you answered your question. Thank you so much, sir, for that.
Yeah.
If anybody has any other question, I think there's still floor for like 2 more questions before the end of this session. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat or just raise your hand or just unmute. And while we are waiting for that, I dropped a form on the chat for like a certificate of attendance. We are more than 30 here, and I've only gotten 11 responses. So feel free to like fill it up to get the certificate of
Attendance.
participation. Yes.
Are you using the HL to send my own certificate of attendance?
Anything you want, sir.
Or you want to make use of technology?
Definitely technology.
Yeah, that's the future.
That's the future. All right. So the demand for all those ways of doing it in the olden days are changing, and that's the future we are talking about. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, sir. This was a very insightful session. It's not every day we have someone like you come to speak with us, and we do not take it for granted. Yusuf, I don't know if you have like anything to say. Okay, I think I'm seeing another question on the chat.
Okay.
So someone is asking the idea of AI and cloud. Is it like too OP, or are there going to be some setbacks on it, like limitations?
What's the meaning of OP?
I wanted to ask the same thing. David.
Mr. Isaac, let us be clear with your question.
Okay, he said overpowered.
Okay. The idea of AI and cloud isn't like too overpowered, or
Okay.
are
I
there
didn't
gonna
really.
be some setback on it? Now the idea is that definitely uh we are talking about artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence has been in existence for long, but the world has not reached where it is at the moment, right? Um, the idea is that it is still in the process, and it has been doing wonderfully well. I also agree that, like I mentioned, that there could be challenges. Yes, there will always be challenges, but what is important is that when there are challenges, we resolve those challenges and move ahead. So don't be limited that, oh, this new invention, there will be challenges. Because of that, you are not moving up. If you don't, some of us will always be moving up until we are able to solve those challenges. So what is important is that when there's a trend in terms of innovation, move along with those trends. If there are challenges, the people at the top will solve those challenges and the world will be better off for it. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys replied, said thanks a lot. I think that should be all the questions you are taking for today. I don't know if
Okay.
Emmy is on the call. I think you wanted to say something before. Emmy, okay, I don't think he's on the call. So Yusuf, over to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And to our esteemed guest lecturer, the renowned guest speaker, Ambassador Popoola, we say a very big thank you to you, sir. So, and on the agenda, this is just the last part of the program. But before that, I would like to thank everyone that has deemed it fit to be part of this insightful session. Your time is so much appreciated, and don't take it for granted. So, and I'm very much sure that either one or two has been added to your knowledge stack. So, this is a form of closing remarks. This is a form of closing remarks. The appreciation to GDSC FUNAAB as a whole, the lead, Emmy Olaoshebikan Emmanuel, who I think is on transit, that is not able to give his talk today. So, and to the whole community, Google Developer Student Club, now Google Developer Group on campus, GDG on campus for FUNAAB. Thank you, FUNAABites. And some other notable personalities on the call that joined from far and wide, the tech enthusiasts and every other person that make it to and deem it fit to be on the call. Thank you so much, everyone. And we hope the session was insightful as promised. So don't forget to fill the form that was sent, and don't forget to share what you've just learned, tagging the new cloud, tagging the GDSC FUNAAB with hashtag new cloud era. Thank you and God bless. So the program is hereby declared closed. Thank you.
So guys, it's my pleasure to be here with you, and I want to wish you well. Thank you so much for inviting me, and God bless every one of you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank you.
Sam.
Thank
Bye bye.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll close the call before we.
I will send my presentation to your email.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Yeah. Thank you.